Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Early Learner Live. My name is Allison with Arizona Science Center, and we're here every morning at 9:30, Monday through Saturday, doing different STEM activities related to books. So this morning, we are going to be talking about wind. What do you guys already know about wind? Have you ever seen the wind? Have you ever felt the wind? Have you ever felt a really strong wind and then a really weak breeze? Interesting. So we're going to be talking more about wind today, and we're going to start with a story. The story is called The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins. Now, looking at this cover, can we make a prediction what we think this story might be about? So the story is called The Wind Blew, and I see in the story, just making observations of the cover, I see some people. I see their hands are reaching up. Why might their hands be reaching up? I see all these things up in the sky above them. I see a kite, I see an umbrella, a hat, a balloon, some clothes. I wonder how all those things got up there. And why are these people reaching for them? What predictions could you make? Now keep those predictions in your head, and let's see if they come true as we read the story. So The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins. The wind blew. So on this page, how do we know the wind is blowing? What do you observe that tells you that there is the wind? I don't see anything that says wind. But what I do notice, I notice this umbrella is going up. If I look down here, I see this balloon, and I know when I'm holding a balloon, when it's really windy out, my balloon tries to run away from me. So, I could make an entrance, make a connection to myself that this has happened to me before when it's windy outside. Let's keep reading. I took the umbrella from Mr. White and quickly turned it inside out. Has that ever happened to any of you before? Have you ever been holding an umbrella on a really windy day and had it flip inside out? It's the worst, guys. So once again, we see some wind here. Do you see the wind anywhere else? What do you notice about this tree? Interesting. It snatched the balloon from little Priscilla and swept it up to join the umbrella. Oh no, little Priscilla, her balloon's gone. Why is her balloon gone? What took it? Let's see, what else do we see in this picture? I see some people over here, and I see this lady's wearing a white dress. Why might somebody be wearing a white dress with somebody in a suit? Maybe they're getting married, and I noticed her veil over here. Maybe her veil got caught in the wind too. And not content, it took a hat, and still not satisfied with that. So what did the wind take? Wind took a hat. What do you predict it might take next? Let's find out. It whipped a kite into the air and kept it spinning round up there. So if you predicted that kite was gonna go, you were correct. That kite took the kite. It grabbed a shirt left out to dry and tossed it upward to the sky. So now, what does this wind have? The wind has the umbrella, a balloon, a hat, a kite, and a shirt. So the wind is powerful enough to carry all of these items. Any predictions on this page what it might take next? What do we see? Do we see I observe a lady over here. She's holding something. Does anyone know what she's holding? You know what that is? It's a handkerchief. We don't really use those a lot nowadays. But I wonder what's going to happen to that handkerchief. It plucked a hanky from a nose, and up and up and up it rose. No. Now it's got the handkerchief too. Let's see what it gets next. This wind is very strong. It lifted the wig from the judge's head, and it didn't drop it back instead. The judge lost his wig. He doesn't have any hair anymore. It's very unfortunate. It whirled the postman's letters up as if it hadn't done enough. Wow, so this wind was so powerful. It's lifted all of these things, and now it has all these letters too. Any predictions what it might take next, or is the wind gonna drop it all? What do we think? I might make a prediction that I see over here. I see a flag, and I know that flags flap in the breeze. So I'm gonna make a prediction that maybe the flag is something with the flag is gonna happen next. Let's see. It blew so hard it quickly stole a striped flag fluttering on a pole. My prediction was correct. It took this flag next. The guard is not very happy. So what do we see down here? What might the wind be able to pick up? Do you think it could pick up these girls? I don't know if the wind's that strong. It pulled the new scarves from the twins and tossed them to the other things. Oh man, took their scarves. It sent the newspapers fluttering around, then tired of the things it found. What do we think might happen? It mixed them up and threw them down. So it put everything up in the sky and then threw it down. So it landed back on everybody. Now, how did the wind do that? Have you ever experienced that when the wind was blowing and then the wind stops? Everything falls down? I know I've experienced that. And blew away to the sea. So what's the wind helping in this? What's the wind doing in this photo? Does anyone know what this is called? This is a sailboat, and the wind is going to help the sail move the boat. That's how a sailboat works. So wind can be really helpful in addition to sometimes causing a mess. Now, that was the story, The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins. Now, we're talking about the wind and we saw all the things that the wind was moving around. Can you see the wind? Can you see air? If I look around me, I know there's air all around me, but do I see it? Can I feel it? So the air and the wind around us, we don't see the wind itself, but we can see the way the air and the wind affects other items. So I have over here, I have some water, and this is something really easy you can do at home. I put a boat in the water to, represent the sailboat from the story. But something really easy you could do to kind of see the power of air. You have a little cup and you have some water. I can take a paper towel and I can take my paper towel and squish, squish, squish it up. And this is a dry paper towel, everybody. I'm gonna put it inside of my cup. Now, if I put this cup in the water, what do we predict is going to happen to the paper towel? Put the cup in the water, I might predict that the paper towel is going to get wet. Now, watch what happens if I turn this cup upside down. I put it in the water. It's in the water, it's completely underwater, and I pick it back up. What happened to the paper towel? Is this paper towel wet? I mean, it's wet after it touches my hand, but was it wet when it came out the cup? Let's observe one more time. So I put this paper towel in the cup, put the cup in the water, I pick the cup up, take the paper towel out, got a little wet on one side, but this paper towel is mostly dry. So when I put this cup in the water, there's air inside the cup. So if I want to turn this cup sideways, I can see those bubbles come out, which is that air escaping. That's how I know that air is in there. So this is a really easy way you can explore air in kind of a fun way with some items you have at home. You can use a bigger cup than this. You can do this in the bathtub if you wanted to. Just any water in any cup, and you can see how you can trap the air and let the air go. If you have a boat, you can even explore how to move the boat with the air. Now, how else can we see air, or the way that it moves other things? So I have a squishy container here. So if you have a ketchup container or a mustard container or any of those condiment containers, you can rinse it out, wash it out, and then you can use it to explore air. So when I squeeze it, I can feel the air coming out of the bottle. Now I can also try to use this air to see, whoops, I'm moving them all the way off the table, how I can move some items with the air. Now, do you think it's going to be easier or harder to move the pom-pom? Well, compared to the cup. So which one will be harder to move? See, pom-pom gone. Let's see if I can move the cup. The cup is much heavier, so much harder to move. Using multiple squirts before I can get this to move. So a really fun thing you can do at home to explore air is use some of these containers. See what items you can move with the air. You guys can race each other. See if you can do an air race. See who can use the most force and pressure to move that air. Another fun way to explore air. Now, the last thing I want to show and talk to you guys about is, if we can't see air, and we can't see wind, how do we know that the wind is blowing? sometimes we know by looking around us. Now, I see even in the tree behind me, I see these leaves moving slightly in the tree. So I know by looking at this tree and the leaves moving that the wind, it's a slight breeze. It's not a gust. If it was a gust, my tree would be like falling over, but it's a slight breeze, so it's just moving slightly. You know, if I don't have a tree near me, maybe you guys have seen one of these. Oh, hey, and it's windy enough to move my pinwheel today. So exciting. So this is a pinwheel. So you might have one of these in your yard, or you might be able to see one of these. And this can tell you, it's a wind detector. So the word detector kind of sounds like the word detective, right? And what do detectives do? Detectives find clues. So this wind detector gives me a clue on if the wind is blowing. So this is one type of wind detector, so to say. And this is another. So this is a wind sock. Some of you might have seen this outside. They come in lots of different colors, shapes, and sizes. But I can tell, how can I tell the wind is blowing with this wind detector? You said you can see the bottom, legs kind of flapping around. You know, if it's a gentle breeze, I know these bottom is going to be moving, but if it's a strong gust of wind, maybe my whole wind detector starts moving in the air. Now, if you don't have one of these at home and you want to have a wind detector, you can make one. So there's lots of different ways to make one. So here are just some materials that I have out. I have some feathers, bags, straws, paper clips, paper. I had some extra crepe paper from a party I threw before we're all staying at home, and yarn, or ribbon, not yarn, sorry guys, coffee filters, just random things I had around the house. And I can use these to make a plan and design a wind detector. So I can use some of these ideas as inspiration. Do I want to make something like a pinwheel? Maybe I could use some cups to do something like a pinwheel. Or do I want to make something like a windsock that's going to move? You know, I can use this as inspiration. And you know, I designed one before this morning, and I used this windsock as inspiration. And as I was planning and designing, I really liked jellyfish. So I wanted to make one that looked like a jellyfish. So this is the one that I made. So this is my wind detector. Kind of looks like a jellyfish, right? Kind of pink jellyfish. So I made these different legs so I could see how they blow in the wind. And what do you notice about how this is blowing? Is this blowing a lot or a little? Some parts, like this crepe paper, are blowing a lot, but this ribbon is blowing a little. So I can use this to help me tell if it's a gentle breeze or a strong gust. You know, I also designed to put some items on the end. So I put some feathers on the end of some to make them a little bit heavier. So the ones without the feathers can blow a little bit easier than the ones with the feathers. So another way that I can tell how strong the wind is blowing, I can put this outside my window, and I don't even have to go outside to know if there is a breeze out there. So this is going to be my wind detector. So today we talked about wind, we talked about how the wind blew, we read the story The Wind Blew by Pat Hutchins, we explored looking at air in a water cup, and we looked at some wind detectors, like detectives, to tell us if the wind is blowing. Now these activities today are actually from our friends at the Franklin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so thank you Franklin for sharing some of these fun activities with us today. They're part of the Franklin's Leap into Science program, which you can find out more at leap.fi.edu. And this activity is part of our early learning series, so you can join us at Arizona Science Center every morning at 9:30. We also have demos at 1 o'clock and more resources on our website as well, azscience.org. So thank you all for joining us. Have a lovely day. Bye.